Hi, welcome back, you beautiful souls, to the new series of Naruto. And many of you will be like, what? Why are you putting out so many new what ups? Okay, so this month it's like every year because this past year has been amazing as far as like YouTube goes. When I started this channel, I believe my first upload was January 2nd, but I thought of it to actually start. It was back in January, at least. I was like, okay, if I'm just going to do this, do YouTube what ifs, just not really committing to it. But I did set up the goal. If I got at least 3K subscribers by the end of the year, I will continue just to do YouTube. And the fact that I'm coming up on 4K subs is just crazy to me. Because I had watched other YouTube what ifers for a while, for at least 2 years before I even started doing my own what ifs. And a few of them, I noticed that their channels didn't really start really growing. Yeah, a couple of them would get to 1,000 within the first year, but so you guys have already surpassed that goal for me to like actually continue what ifs. If I didn't hit 3K by the end of the year, I was just going to finish up the stories that I had and do other types of content. But from many of the support and comments that I had below, that I've had in past videos and on Discord, words of encouragement from other people, and also talking to a few what ifers that I actually am huge fans of. About like when they started and everything, like how they basically are doing some of their what ifs. I was like, wow, okay, well, so you guys will continue getting what if stories. This year, all the what ifs that I get out this month will probably be all the new what ifs that I get out this month and the beginning of next year will be the last new what ifs that I do for a while, probably until about midway next year to like the end. Also, I would like to say before we get into our story of this new what if, come December 10th will be the return of an old series that many of you, and I mean many of you, it's my most watched series. As far as my analytics goes, it has the most watched. They like out of all the videos, just like five random videos, it has the most consecutive watch times on average per view. So that being said, the series that will return December 10th, you'll be getting a double upload, is my breakout series that started this channel. Many of you a lot of you have requested it, and quite frankly, it is the one series that I enjoy the most actually doing, because it's an original idea that I had, and I spent a really long time actually working on that series and that particular quirk. So that being said, stay tuned. Tune in December 10th, because I will release a recap episode on the 9th, and then the 10th you'll be getting the next episode, and on that I will discuss it at the beginning of the first video, and you may get a double upload that day. That being said, let's get into our story of the new What If Naruto. What if Naruto was a hybrid Saiyan? So all that being discussed and the start of it, let's get into our story. So, a little bit of a backstory on this. So, this isn't going to be Universe 7 Saiyans. They won't have tails. They will be more akin to the Universe 6 Saiyans. So some of you may be like, yeah. But I always, like, with Super, I always felt the Universe 6 Saiyans had a higher potential, which I'm going to use them for this what if. And also the notion that hybrid Saiyans have a higher potential. Yeah, this is possibly will be the most OP Naruto that I will ever do on this channel. Just getting chills with where this series is going to go. So that being said, let's get into our story. Our story actually starts a little over 20 years before the birth of Naruto. On an alien world, there's these weird looking aliens from the inhabitants of this planet that their skin's pale, and they're not using the same kind of energy, but it's similar. A few of the Saiyans have been able to like replicate some of their techniques, but they're weaker. So they just focus on like their natural born gifts of Ki Blast and utilizing some Zenkai boost here and there, though they don't really know that that's it. They just, in this war, this war is going on for years, and for a couple of years, well, to a Saiyan couple and everything, they've finally are able to get to the other side of the planet, away from like all the war, with a pod. And a little toddler, not, I mean, he has a hard time walking because his power level is so weak that he can't even, for like the first several years, like the years of his life, he's just been in an incubation chamber, and his power level, like at birth, was 1. So he's never been able to like really walk. So that's why his mother is carrying him, and they place him in the pod, and then he's struggling. His dad reaches down and turns his head to them, and they just tell their son, "Our son, please, we don't want you in this world. The defenses are going to be, we're going to die probably soon. We're sending you off. Please, son, survive. So that you may, we're sending you away so that you may live and have a wonderful life." As they reach down, kiss their son, and send him off planet, the ship rockets past some Otsutsuki that come and find them. And yes, it's the Otsutsuki. The Saiyans and the Otsutsuki are at war in this. And right before they get destroyed by like a fireball, fireballs being rained down on them, they just say, "Minato, live." As they embrace each other and are consumed by a fireball jutsu. So we're going to cut to about 2 weeks later. Hiruzen, he's walking with one of his students. He's walking with his team, like out in the woods, and they see something coming streaking across the sky and land. They see a plume of fire. They see a plume of fire like go up into the sky, and they rush over to like where this plume of fire was at, and they see like this weird looking like crate, or they can't tell what it is because it's pretty much destroyed. They see like bits of weird metal laying like strewn across the floor, and then they see it. They see a young child. They run like all four of them. And yes, Orochimaru's there. Don't yell at me in the comments. This is before he betrayed the leaf. That will happen. Orochimaru will still go off and be like the wow, there's really no better way to say that than the young body snatching Orochimaru we grew to love and hate at the same time. So Hiruzen and his team come up, and they see this toddler. Well, not really a toddler now. More, I would say Minato is about 3 years. This is about like Minato is about 3 years old, and they run over to the boy because he's just laying in this crater surrounded by a bunch of metal and everything's down. Like, they run over to the boy. Tsunade, obviously being a medical nen, like goes and like heals the boy, like immediately after, like pretty much not immediately after he crashed, but I would say this is definitely within a few minutes of them seeing this thing streaking across they arrive and they see the boy. Tsunade literally just she's not thinking, she just sees a child hurt. So she runs over, healing Minato. Now, remember what I said? He's Saiyan, and what do Saiyans get when they're near death? Or they get severely hurt? Zenkais. And because Tsunade is such a good medical nin, Minato, he does get memory loss, but he remembers his name. He remembers two people, like, that he will later know that as his parents, but he remembers like them always saying like Minato, our son Minato. Like he remembers these two people saying that. And so when he comes to, he's coughing, and like Hiruzen, Orochimaru, and also Jiraiya are there, and they're looking, they begin to like talk to the boy, and he's just kind of looking at them, and he's looking at them, and then he's like, and then they ask him, it's like, can you speak, boy? And he nods. He's looking at them because they don't. He can tell they're not like his parents. And then they ask the boy, it's like, what's your name? Like Hiruzen asks, like, what's your name? And like Minato turns his head to Hiruzen, and he's like, my name's Minato. Where am I? Then Hiruzen says, you're near the Leaf Village. And Minato's like, I'm sorry, I don't know where that is. And Hiruzen, he's curious because the boy, he's a child. And then Jiraiya asks, like, where's your parents, kid? And Minato's like, I don't know. Something bad happened, and they sent me away. Tsunade is shocked by this. So is Hiruzen. Jiraiya is too. And I would say this happened Yeah, this happened shortly before Dan's death, but after her brother's death. So as she's looking at the boy, like he kind of reminds her of her little brother. And Hiruzen's like, oh, okay. Because they were basically talking about it, because they are in the middle of the war, like right around that time. I think around Dan's death is when Orochimaru really, like, her and Orochimaru kind of left the village and stuff, and they failed. If not, you can correct me down below, and I'll do a retcon on the next part, if Orochimaru was there or not. But they were basically trying, like, Jiraiya... Well, scratch that. Never mind. Orochimaru is not there. It's just Tsunade and Jiraiya and Hiruzen. They're basically trying to convince Tsunade to stay in the village. No, this won't lead to them staying in the village. Her staying in the village. She'll still leave because Dan will pass away shortly after this incident, and that will just drive her. Like, she was talking about possibly leaving the village after the war's over. Kind of thing. So Hiruzen, he was like, well, I'm fairly certain the Hokage would let you live in our village. Do you have a last name, boy? And Minato shakes his head like, no, all I know is my name's Minato, and my parents, they sent me away to keep me safe or something. I'm sorry, sir. And so they take the young Minato to, like, the village. And he gets incorporated, and after, like, a few years pass, Minato is starting to get trained. They try to get him to do, like, chakra, like, using, like, chakra paper to try to see, like, if he has, like, what aptitude to, like, element he has. And he just can't do it. But then they see, like, a little bit of energy come, like, off of his hands, and, like, the paper basically gets incinerated. And they're like, Hiruzen's like, that's strange. And then he's thinking, it's like, So he asks, like, one of Hyuga. He asked one of his Hyuga friends to, like, look at this, and I would say this would be, wow, that would be funny, but I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I just had a thought, but I'm not going to do it because I don't have that written in. That would just be put in just for, like, total, like, plot convenience, but we're not doing that. So they have a Hyuga come in, and they look at to check the boy out, and he doesn't have chakra. And Tsunade even said, like, his energy, it feels weird. It feels close to chakra, but it feels off. So when the Hyuga, like, uses, like, their Byakugan, they can't see anything wrong with the child internally. And also the Uchiha are fairly, this is years before, like, the Uchiha massacre, so there are still Uchiha. So Hiruzen gets an Uchiha to come by to see, like, to look at the boy's, like, chakra. And through, like, the Hyuga and the Uchiha, they come to find out the boy doesn't have chakra, but he has a weird energy that's really close to it. So they begin to, like, train the boy, and he learns to use his energy, like, as though other people use his chakra, but they notice that it gets weaker, and this just drives the young Minato to get stronger. Saiyans, like we know, just have this innate drive to like get stronger or to fight like strong opponents, which will play a little bit into this, but even the Universe 6 Saiyans are kind of like that. So over the years, Minato he progresses really fast. He still has the same interactions that he has with Kushina. They still will end up getting together. And Minato, he gets really strong during this time, to the point that even though like when he does the jutsus, like they find out that he can do all forms of jutsus, and they Hiruzen's very inquisitive about this. So when Minato he graduates like the academy, he places him on his student on Jiraiya's team. And so Minato he learns the flying Raijin. He's able to do the shadow clone jutsu and everything, and he makes a name for himself like in canon. And when it comes to the Rasengan, he still develops the Rasengan, but for him it's way stronger. And he teaches his old master Jiraiya how to do the Rasengan, and Jiraiya's able to duplicate it. And they're like, "Whoa, that's weird. There's no difference in it." But it seems, Minato, that you're able to, that your Rasengan's a hell of a lot stronger. In Kakashi also, like in canon, will like obviously learn it too. So now we cut to when the Night of the Nine Tails attack, and Minato he has an easier time than he does in canon. Just because he's a Saiyan doesn't mean he's going to be OP as hell. Yes. But one thing that is different in this story, they like Minato, he developed an ability to be like, after getting trained in like chakra sense, he starts noticing that he can sense chakra, but he also senses the same energy that's within him like in other people, but it's really, really, really weak. Like it's almost not there. It seems like their chakra overrides this energy. But he notices there's and this is how him and Kushina found out that they were pregnant. He notices that there is an energy within Kushina, and so all those preparations happened. Naruto will be born, and he will be a hybrid. But before he goes to seal like Kurama before he goes and does the Reaper Death Seal, to seal Kurama, after he does it and he actually gets a good hold of his son, he notices that Naruto has an insane amount of this weird energy, but his chakra, it equally matches it. So he's just thinking, wow, maybe he can accomplish. No. Any case. So he ends up sealing. After he's thinking about it, he actually is like, maybe. So he ends up sealing the good half of Kurama into Naruto, and Kushina and him are holding the young Naruto, and Hiruzen's there, they quickly like make a scroll for like their son, and they tell, because Minato, like, after he gets done like writing his bid in, like it kind of goes off, like the the quill, or however they write in like the scroll, like he like dies and like part of it goes off. Kushina writes in it as well, and her last line before she dies is, my son Naruto, please, our son, please grow strong, stronger than the both of us. And she hands the scroll to Hiruzen, and she's like, Lord Third, give this to Naruto when he graduates the academy. And she dies, holding her son, like looking down at her son. She's not even looking at Hiruzen when she's handing the scroll to him. And he's like, she's just, her last images before she dies is of her son. So, like in canon, Hiruzen's like finding Minato and not really clear of what Minato is, because during the war, every single time he got hurt and he healed, he seemed to get stronger than what he was before. And he's wondering, they chalk this up to like some kind of Keiki Genkai that allows people that have this Keiki Genkai to get stronger after they get injured. Or if they get to a low, like, you know, like the basic concept of a Zenkai, and they think it's a Keiki Genkai. And Hiruzen's just holding the boy and holding the scroll. He immediately seals like the scroll into like his hand, because Minato, like before he started writing, he said, Lord Third, I'm putting things in here that would be considered forbidden. But please, teacher, help our son. Kind of thing. So he basically seals the scroll into like his hand. It's Hiruzen. Let's be clear. He's not called the god of shinobi for nothing. Quite frankly, I'm pretty sure there's certain jutsus that Hiruzen can do with no signs. So he's holding the young Naruto, and he's going to have a much more active role in the boy's life, because he's half Uzumaki in whatever Minato's family is. But the boy may end up having the Keiki Genkai of both clans, the Uzumaki clan and whatever Minato's clan is as well. So he may end up having the chakra chains and the ability to get stronger fast, like Minato did. Which he does. But, so, that being said, we're going to cover a little bit of the young Naruto's life before we end this part. And the next part will probably come out tomorrow or the day after. So, Naruto growing up, he has a pretty normal childhood. Until one day that he notices people start avoiding him. I will watch that later, actually. Wow, okay. Yes, What If Sensei, if you're not a subscriber of him, head over to his channel. I actually put a link in the description of this video for it, but whatever, that's different. Let's get back to our story. So Naruto, he's smarter in this. The whole thing about him being revealed to be like Nine-Tails demon, people start calling him a demon, and he's fairly young about this. they're like, get out of here. And a few of them do call him demon. And just like in canon, he will be on his own. But he visits Naruto more than he does in canon. And he makes sure, like, when Naruto moves in on his own, that he eats a well-balanced diet. He tells stories of, like, how a ninja can't always eat the same thing, that they need a well-balanced diet to like grow stronger. And this something inside of Naruto, every single time Hiruzen says that, like, it helps you get stronger, it just something in him like drives him to take this to heart. And he ends up saving Hinata, like in canon, because I think they were about 5-ish when that happened. He also meets he runs into a strange older kid, and he ends up befriending this kid, and it's Rock Lee. No, Naruto will not learn the 8 gates, because that would just completely and utterly break this character that we're building. But this gets Naruto into actually training his body, and he notices that all the junk food that he's eating is really, like, he notices that he notices that he doesn't have as much energy playing with this older kid. Him and Lee will be friends, but once Lee graduates the Ninja Academy, or he gets into, like, the Ninja Academy, he doesn't really see too much of Lee anymore, because Lee at that point would run into Guy, and his intense training regimen wouldn't leave a lot of time for him to play with this kid. So Naruto, he's a little saddened by that, but he knows that not everyone in the village hates him, but he thinks, it's like, well, maybe if I get strong enough, people will stop treating me like Stako. That girl, Hinata, she seemed nice. I hope I get to see her again. So, over the next several years, Naruto, he gets really strong. And for some reason, he can't do, just like in canon, he has an issue with ninjutsu. But there was one night he had a strange dream about this thing locked in a cage, and he woke up in a cold sweat. It lasted for a couple of seconds. He didn't really interact with Kurama, but he's made contact with it. And because it's the good Kurama, the good side of Kurama, this Kurama, he's not interfering with Naruto. Because this Kurama, he feels something about this boy, like, reminds him of his father and his brothers and sisters. Like, just something about this boy, he's not a normal human. So Kurama has been helping Naruto, like, with QB chakra to, like, heal at night. And during this night when he had the nightmare, Kurama used a little bit more chakra, because he got into a fight with, like, another kid, and got hurt a little bit more than usual. So Kurama accidentally used a little bit more chakra to heal the boy. And so Kurama, the good side of Kurama, he won't boost the boy, like, make sure that he's okay, because he just feels something's different about this child. And the fact that he has 2 types of energies within him, and they seem to, like, combine at some times. So Naruto, he actually has a pretty good academy life. he still shit for like genjutsu, because just like in canon, this Naruto just doesn't have the aptitude for genjutsu. Like, he would seriously have to put into time, like serious time, to learn just basic genjutsu. But this also adds the added effect of him not being able to do the clone, like the normal clone jutsu, because it's based in genjutsu. And during one of his meetings with when Hiruzen would come by to like his apartment, he would ask Hiruzen about this, and Hiruzen's just thinking. He was like, maybe, maybe, Naruto, give me a couple of days. I may have something to help you out with that. So he gets to his office. He comes back the next day, and Naruto's like, oh, Gramps, what is it that you wanted to go get like yesterday, and you said you'd have it ready for me today? Ah, young Naruto, I have a little piece of paper here. It should help you out. Here, memorize it. Memorize what's written down on it, and then burn the paper, because I'm not supposed to do this, but since you're a cute little kid and you're having troubles with it, this will be our little secret, okay? Hiruzen, knowing as soon as Naruto uses this jutsu, people would be like, holy shit. And yes, it's the shadow clone. And I wouldn't say this is when he's like young. This is like the last year. This is towards like the end of the academy. And just to make sure Naruto can actually graduate, like, his taijutsu skills are above average. He kind of, because he trains a lot, because he did run into Lee at some point, and he asked Lee, like, when he actually got into the academy, he asked Lee, like, if they can play, and like, he says, Lee, why have you been avoiding me? And then Lee says, oh, Naruto, I'm sorry, but my sensei, I have to train really, really hard, because I unfortunately I don't have chakra, Naruto, so I have to train extremely hard to, like, do things. And Naruto's like, wow, okay, so would you be able to, sorry, Naruto, but I can't play anymore, and I'm really sorry. No problem then. Are we still friends though? Yes, obviously. Lee doing like his classic thumb pose, like that guy and him do. Again, sorry about the interruption. Dragos, you get a shout out in the video. you made me actually stop. So I'm gonna cut. I plan on cutting this right around when Naruto was having his discussion. So Naruto's like, sorry. Lee, like, his classic pose with the thumb and everything's like, we'll do this. And Naruto basically asks if are they still friends, and Lee goes, definitely. And Naruto's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get strong too. So we cut to about, we fast forward back to like near the end of the academy year. Naruto's about 12 at this time, and it takes him, I would say this is about a month before the graduation testing and everything. The last one of the year. If Naruto doesn't pass this, he'll have to wait until next year to graduate. So he spends his days like seriously training. because of like him having like that friendship with Lee, and Lee constantly training, he really looks up to Lee like as a good friend, but also as like a brother. Like he has that brotherly like view of Lee. Like Lee has inspired him to like really train, which spills over to other people, mainly Hinata, because she's still liking Ken, will crush on Naruto and fall in love with him, yada yada. And I will get into that their what their relationship is like in the next few minutes or the next video. So Naruto, he spends a month like training to like get the clone jutsu, and he's having a difficult time. And then one night, like he goes to sleep and he has that dream again that he had many years ago, that he had like years ago, and he sees the cage, and then he sees the weird creature inside of it, and he just hears, "You come to visit me again." Whoa, where am I? "You're in your mind, kid. Do you know what I am?" Naruto then looks at it, and he's like, Are you the reason that people in the village hate me?" "Well, yes. And no, but they're a bunch of idiots. They don't understand that you're my jailer." "What?" "Naruto, do you know the nine-tailed beast attack that happened about 12 years ago? The day that you were born, actually." "Yes. Yes. Wait. You're the Kyuubi." "I hate that." "Oh, sorry. Then, is there something else you like to be called?" And Kurama begins to laugh, like, "Funny. You're funny, kid. You're definitely not like the other people of this world. Yes, I do have something, but I don't feel like telling you right now." Yes, this is the good Kurama, but he's still kind of pissed off getting sealed. This side of him is still a little pissed off getting sealed inside of a child. But he's not going to actively, like, screw with the kid. And Naruto's like, "Well, how can I, like, talk to you again? Because this time, I don't know. You just have to think about it coming into your mind. Try meditating sometimes, kid. Also, that dang jutsu that you've been trying to learn. You have two different types of energy. Meditate and learn to separate the two, or combine them harmoniously. Either way, you should be able to learn that jutsu. Fairly easy if you do that." Naruto then wakes up, and he's like, "Whoa." So, and he hears a knock at the door, and Hiruzen shows up, and he has some supply. It's like, instead of visiting Naruto like once a month to getting things, he basically brings food and supplies to Naruto on a weekly basis. Like I said, Hiruzen takes more of an active role in actually guiding Naruto. Jiraiya is still his godfather, and him and Hiruzen did get into it. And Jiraiya says, like, he's sorry, but like he can't give up his spy network. And arguably, yes, that's actually a really good excuse, but come on, Jiraiya, you could have at least visited a boy like at least once a year or something to like keep an eye on him, or to like giving words of encouragement. Sorry about the tangent. So Naruto then and I would say this is about 2 weeks before the exam, the beginning exam. And Naruto's just looking at Hiruzen, and Hiruzen, as he's like putting stuff like on the countertop, he looks at Naruto and he's like, "Oh, Naruto, what is it? It looks like you have something you want to like ask me." And Naruto's like, "Old man, is the demon sealed in me?" And Hiruzen's eyes go wide, and he's like, "Naruto, how do you know that?" "Well, I had a dream last night, and it called me its jailer, and I remember reading something about something called a Jinkuri. The terms Naruto, the terms Jinchuriki. What else did it tell you?" Naruto's like, "Nothing. It told me that if I meditate and that I have this weird, I have 2 types of energies. I have chakra and this something else." And Hiruzen's like thinking, it's like, then he really, then that means he does. "Yes, Naruto. Meditating on that can actually help. It has been shown in the past to help someone build up their chakra levels too." So Naruto, he grins at this, and then Hiruzen asks him, he's like, "Are you upset about that?" And Naruto's like, "No, I just know now why people in the village don't like me, but that just gives me added incentive to get stronger, just to prove everyone wrong that I'm not a nuisance. And I'm sorry I pulled pranks when I was younger, Gramps." And Hiruzen's like, "It's fine, Naruto, but keep up with the training. You've come a long way since those days." "Yeah, I guess so. Well, in any case, Gramps, can you lock the door, and when you leave, I'm gonna go train." As Naruto like grabs like something out of it, grabs like a little snack out of the fridge, and in a water bottle or two. And as Hiruzen sees him running out the thing, and he's like, Hiruzen's just standing there thinking, it's like, "Kushina, Minato, he reminds me so much of both of you. He has your looks, Minato, but he has Kushina, he has your personality." So over this next week, Naruto, he's meditating, and he does visit the QD a couple of times, and then he does it one day, and he's able to create like one. He's able to, like, the first time he does it, he's panting, he's huffing, and then he goes, "Shadow Clone Jutsu!" And he ends up creating like 4 shadow clones. And he's like, "I did it, I did it, I did it!" You just see like 5 Narutos just standing there shouting like, "I did it, I did it, I did it!" And then he's like, and then he goes, and then he like dispels them, and he comes running into the Hokage's office, and he's like, Gramps, I did it! I finally did it! I can graduate now! One thing that I've had the hardest time on! I can finally do it!" "Oh, Naruto? Well then, show me." And Naruto grins, and he's like, "Shadow Clone Jutsu!" And he goes, like, this time, he creates like 20 shadow clones. And Hiruzen's like, "What the? Naruto! Oh, sorry, was that too many? Dispel!" And then after he dispels all 20 of them, he goes, "Whoa, I don't feel too good." And before he falls, sorry about that, before he falls, he catches himself, and then Hiruzen says, "Even though you have a large You have a large amount of chakra and similar energy that your Well, no, he doesn't say that. You see, even though you have a large amount of chakra, Naruto, shadow clones are very dangerous. There's a reason that they're forbidden. And Naruto's like, why? Well, you see, it uses an insane amount of chakra. My suspicions were correct. Because of how high your chakra pool is, you can't create a normal clone jutsu. So, I figured this would be able to help you. But be careful with it, Naruto. You should probably only create like 1 or 2 at a time. Because unlike Kakashi and Jiraiya, I feel because Hiruzen is actually closer to Naruto in this, he tells Naruto all the dangers of the Shadow Clone, which inadvertently is the secret of the Shadow Clones. And Naruto's like, that means I can train a lot harder. But yes, Naruto, remember, if you use too many clones and do the same thing too much, the recoil on your body can be extremely dangerous. Promise me, Naruto, that you won't do that. I promise, Gramps. So, with that, you beautiful souls, I'm going to end this part here. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this series. This video, you don't need a like goal on this, but the like goal on the next video will be 100. So like the video, it helps with the algorithm. Comment down below what you think about it. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I will see you beautiful souls in the next video.